Hello, Brubs. We're back with 2025 Pumpkin Beer Review number 2. Not brought to you by Wheat Thins. Kentucky Pumpkin Barrel Ale. Handmade. How the fuck they fermented in your hand, buddy? Aged in bourbon barrels. That would explain the bourbon taste of this stuff. Lexington Brewing. Let me pour it before I start doing that. And I pour it like this, and I know it's not the proper way. Don't school me. But I only have one hand free, and I'm not getting a GoPro or one of those stick things. So don't ask me. Plus, this way it allows me to take a sip out of the bottle before I drink out of the glass. Just picked this glass up for $2 at the thrift store. Good old Stroh's. Top this off, and then I'll take a taste out of the bottle. Out of the bottle and see what that. I don't usually drink out of a bottle because it's not the proper way. Plus, I think a lot of the sediment gets left in the bottom, so the flavor is different from there to there. All right, this is beer review number 2. Yeah, buddy, yeah. Kentucky Pumpkin Barrel Ale. Yeah, that first taste was really boozy. Usually, when you pour this stuff, comes out rather more balanced. But we'll take another drink. I'll spin this around. A little centrifuge of stupidity. Straight from the bottle. Very alcohol infused, but well rounded. See if we can get some specifics off here. Oh, they also make it in Grand Rapids. I did not know that. That would explain. Damn, that's 10%. 10, or does that say 10.1? No, I think it says 10. I just don't know why they have a line there. 10% definitely contains 10% alcohol. Life of the barrel. Does that say lifetime of the barrel? Life of the barrel. The beer of bourbon country. Bro. Yeah, this stuff's good. And plus, it has a nice little horse cap, which I'm not going to go get. But yeah, this stuff's well worth. I think it's $14 for a 4-pack. Well worth it. First sip out of the glass, and it's much more well balanced. Very caramelly infused. Almost like toffee, bruv. Look at that. Get in there, buddy. That's a good beer. I know a lot of heathens like Pabst and all that bullshit, but this is real beer. Pabst is not a bad beer, but to even call it a beer, since most of these brewers now use rice, is a misnomer. It's a beer drink. Very caramelly, dark caramel flavoring. As I said, if you drink it straight out of out of the bottle, probably when you first open it, you take a drink, it's probably more well balanced. But once you tip it in, the bottom tends to have a different taste since it's yeast treated. If I had to give this beer a rating based on beer alone, it's going to be like a 9.3 out of 10. As a pumpkin beer, maybe like a, let's get another taste, see if I even taste pumpkin. Not really, but has more pumpkin taste than the southern tier pumpkin beer selections. This is really boozy and caramelly infused. If you're not 18 years old, you can't watch this. You probably can't legally. Are you allowed to watch a beer review if you're under 18? If you're under 18, please don't leave the room now. In a way, I think you can taste the pumpkin in this, but it's just kind of muted. It's more of a sweetness than a pumpkin flavoring, though. I think you can taste it. Is that crackheads driving by? Wow. Wow. Keep driving, Craggy. Bro. So I'm going to give this a 9.3 as a beer because it's really good. But as a pumpkin beer, I'm going to give it about a, I was going to say 7.3, but I'm going to lower it to about a 6.5 because it doesn't really taste like pumpkin. But there is a pumpkin-y sweetness to it, which you could confuse for pumpkin. So that's my review. I will keep drinking it just to make the video longer because I'm a champ. I should go get the cap because the cap is brilliant. But I think you know what a cap looks like, and it looks like this with that horse on it. Very boozy flavored. What you expect with the 10.0 alcohols in it. Wonder when they started brewing this in Grand Rapids. I know it was always in Lexington, but don't recall it saying Grand Rapids before. Yeah, this can get you tipsy quickly. Now see, there's a little pumpkin-y coming back towards the bottom here. That's why I don't want to end too soon. Let it shake out. And 9.3 as a standard beer is not going to change. Yeah, as you get towards the end here, there's more of like a graham cracker to it. It's more well balanced. It almost comes across pumpkin-y. I'm going to raise it to 7.3. Or maybe it's just warming up and the flavors are expanding. That's why I keep shaking it. Starting to feel the alcohol content now. Shake it all out. Let's give it a whiff, see what it smells like while you look inside there. It does have a pumpkin-y smell. Yeah, I've got to upgrade this to 7.5. .5 is a pumpkin beer. Not overly pumpkin-y. Actually, only minutely pumpkin-y. But it has the essence of a pumpkin pie. In a way. So, I'm going to go 7.3. I'll lower it 0.2. Just because the last sip was a little bourbon infused. So, which makes sense since it's brewed in or aged in bourbon barrels. I don't really know what bourbon tastes like, but boozy flavored. Boozy. It looks like you're looking into a Mayan temple. Yeah. Last taste. 7.3 as a pumpkin beer. 9 point. No, we'll go 7.4 as a pumpkin beer. And 9.3 as a standalone beer. Well worth the extra cost. I think this was $13.99 for a 4-pack. Maybe 14. Either way, it's worth $4 a beer. Well worth it.